Hey Insider, we've got a special guest joining us today. His name is Ben, and he is currently based in London. And I realize I'm actually taking your first question right now, answering it for you, Ben. Tell all the viewers right now, Ben, in terms of what you currently do.
So I'm based in Hackney in London, so I can answer another bit of the question. At the minute, I do a number of things. So I've been working for a long time in consulting and in agencies. So working in business development for consultancies and trying to find work for those companies to do. And then at the same time, that's kind of been my professional career. And then at the same time, I've also been working in music, and I've been running an event with some friends for like 12 years now. And I DJ, and I've run a record label in the past, and I do that as like my passion project. And at the minute, what I'm trying to do since the start of this year is to really transition away from the more corporate professional side of how I've been spending my time and really focus on my passion.
Okay, nice. So take us back, I suppose, rewind time here. Before you came across LMA, what
Yeah.
were some of the issues you were experiencing in your life, Ben?
So I've been through quite a transformational couple of years. So I left a very long-term relationship. I was with someone for 12 years, and that ended pretty much exactly 2 years ago. And at the same time, I lost my job, and was really like hitting quite a, I guess you could call it a crisis. Like I'd arrived at a point of crisis in my life. I didn't really know what I was doing, what I wanted to do next. There were sort of repetitive behavioral patterns that I wasn't really aware of actually what they were or where they were coming from,
Hmm.
that were causing negative relationships with both my friends and my family, and I guess most importantly professionally. Like I had a tendency to get into arguments with my bosses, like, and not in a constructive way. And I didn't really know where that was coming from, and I didn't know what to do about it. And it's great to have an opinion and be confident in your opinion, but you need to be able to take that to people in a constructive way. You need to be able to communicate more effectively, and ultimately everything that you do needs to come from a positive place. And like I got myself into a position where it really wasn't coming from a positive place. And actually, although I decided that I wanted to make this shift. I'd gone through a relationship breakup, and then last year I went through some big changes in what I was doing professionally, and I kind of came into the start of this year, 2020,
Hmm.
with a really kind of big idea of what I wanted to do. Well, I thought I had a big idea of what I wanted to do, but I think that I hadn't really thought through the steps that I needed to take to actually make that change, like really make that change from what I had been doing and how I had been in myself to what I needed to become or to start to become in order to really start to realize the things that I dreamed about really for forever, like music. I've talked about like what my background in music, like it's really been my driving passion for forever. And it's something that I hadn't prioritized. So I came into the beginning of this year, and I opened up an opportunity for myself uh, to really kick on to the next phase of my life. And I think it was the first weekend in January, just after the new year. Got brand new calendar on the wall. I've got all of that white space, all that potential open up before me, and I was looking at it, and I felt so overwhelmed. I didn't know where to start. I was just racked with this really negative emotion, like I didn't feel powerful. I didn't feel confident. I didn't feel that I was valid in what I was trying to do. I felt really small and scared, basically. and um, and then I've been doing quite a lot of meditation,
Yeah.
and that's been quite helpful for me. And then I was doing it along with this YouTube video, and then that ended. It was like diaphragmatic breathing, so I was super relaxed. I was lying on the floor. I was
Mm.
feeling pretty good, and then you started speaking to me on an ad, and I don't really engage with YouTube advertising much, but like I heard the way that you were talking about uh, your journey and the words you were using. I can't even remember what the language was, but the words you were using, there were 2 or 3 phrases, and they just hit me. I was like, wow, okay, that's interesting. And then as you carried on, I could just hear in your voice, to be honest with you, that you really passionately believed what you were saying, and uh, and I could just tell that what was motivating you came from a very positive place, and I just felt that I needed to know more about this.
Yeah.
So I've never ever done anything like this online before, um, and so it was a first. It was felt like a gamble, but in hindsight, no, not a gamble at all. It's been great.
So you was there lying on the floor
Yeah,
meditating, and then
yeah,
this random Asian guy pops up with an advert. So you end up,
yeah.
is it the webinar, the free webinar you got offered? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the
Okay.
2
Okay.
hour, yeah, so like week 0, I guess it would
The
be.
free
Like if
secrets to reinvent yourself, most likely.
yeah, that was yeah, and you had the little ebook thing as well. I came
Yeah,
across that in
that's the
my
one.
downloads the other day.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
so
you end up attending that, and
yeah.
of course, at the end of that webinar, you had a chance to enroll in an LMA. If you was to be honest, this is your first time you said you ever invested in online program or what? So what was
Yeah.
your biggest fears or doubts you had? And what ended up putting that to rest for you? Because you did end up taking a step forwards.
So at that point, I don't know, like I guess that straight up, like I think people are quite cynical about these sorts of things. And is it going to be a scam? Am I because it's not an insignificant amount of money, right? And obviously it's totally worth it, but at the time you don't really have a proper sense of what it's going to involve. Um, but you did a great job of the, you know, you gave so much away in that first call. It's like the generosity I could tell was there. Like you clearly um, had so many ideas, and we were really just scraping the surface. And I guess the worries would be, yeah. So the worries were about it's quite a bit of money. Felt like quite a lot of money at the time. Also the format as well, because like I'd never done anything like online before where I would have to speak to people, or particularly a group of people, and like actually that kind of being exposed, you know, like I guess like my friends would probably say of me, and I'm aware of the fact that I'm very quite closed and quite controlled in how I present myself. I like to be in control. In fact, I've been described as being bulletproof before, which I quite liked. If that tells you anything about me. But so actually, like having to go into an environment where you are vulnerable
Mm.
with strangers, and to be open and honest, and you know, that was quite intimidating. And even just on the first call, you know, like when I realized that the cameras are on and like we could all see each other, that alone was quite intimidating.
On that
um
live call.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, well, I clicked the camera on, and I was like, hang a minute, I've never done this, because I'm not into gaming or anything, you know. If people have
Yeah.
done like computer gaming before, they're much more used to speaking or being on
Mm.
camera, and I'd never done anything like that. So that was quite intimidating as well, but you know, that's part of the process, right? You need to get through that.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm curious to know, because you're saying you was doing the meditation on the floor and so forth,
Yeah.
and from the previous time we've spoken, you're saying that you've done personal development before this. So
Mhm.
what made you actually choose LMA over other things you could have actually done?
So other things I could have done, I honestly hadn't considered it. I hadn't even really considered that I needed it. I
Mm,
thought that I was on a good track.
mm,
Yeah, I thought that I'd made loads of progress and everything was going to be easy, and then it started to dawn on me as like the like the new year opened up, that actually I needed some help, but I hadn't started actively looking. I'd had a few calls with my coach that I'd worked with previously, um, which were really helpful. But at the time, like, the cost was prohibitive, and also I just wanted to try something new. I think that was the main thing. You'll only ever get the same results if you keep on doing the same thing, right? So, like, mixing it up and doing something different, and um, I think the community aspect of it was really important as well. Like, you can see all these people like having these amazing transformation experiences. Like, people cannot talk highly enough of LMA. Like, within the group and in the videos that you share. Like, it's amazing to see the impact. And I didn't even really consider looking elsewhere for any kind of coaching or any kind of interactive.
mm.
Uh, I don't want to call it treatment. It's not really treatment, but like any kind of interactive experience around this.
Right.
This was the first one that came up. It seemed like it made a lot of sense, and that was really the decision point.
So kind of like the right timing sort of
Yeah,
thing.
it was perfect timing. Yeah, it was perfect timing. I needed it, and you were there. Like, it's as simple as that. It's kind of amazing, really, when I think about it. But that's the power of digital media, right? Like, you
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
can reach a.
So yeah, you end up taking a leap of faith forwards. You join LMA. You also, got involved with their live classes we were running at the time. So
Yeah.
what would you say? Because of course you had some form of like feeling in your mind of what you believe it was going to be like. So what ended up surprising you the most when you joined LMA, started getting involved, or what made you feel the happiest about the whole thing once you made the decision?
Once I made the decision, um, well, even making the decision, just making the decision, making the commitment, actually,
Mm,
that made me happy. Yeah, honestly, like, every single step through the process has made me happy, because you keep on opening up new things. And like, because I live on my own, I spend quite a lot of time on my own. I'm very focused on, like, my work and my music, and I have a social life, but it's not really my main focus at the moment. So, but being on your own, you don't get the opportunity to actually reflect and realize, oh, hang on a minute, I'm actually not feeling that great. Um, and there have been so many moments where, just going through, from week 0 to week 7, just gone week 6, like, it's um, every week I get something that is useful to me, and I've been revisiting the notes, and the recordings, and I generally always find something that will unlock one of those inner doubts, those inner blockers, um, to happiness and to progress. And it's still going on now. Like, I've been applying some of the tools that you gave us last week, over the past few days, and I can already feel. And this is just one thing. This is like the thing that you put on the bathroom mirror, where you talk to yourself and appreciate yourself
oh, you've
for
been doing
40
it?
days. Yeah, I'm
Nice.
on day 5 now, and it's like, hang
Nice.
on a minute, this is already working. I can feel it changing me,
Yeah.
like, actually rewiring your thought patterns.
Was it
And
awkward doing it or
no,
no?
no, no, I don't, man. I thought I would. I would have done at the start if I'd been doing it at the start. So
Mm,
even on the first call, the
yeah.
2 hour,
Week one.
um, the 0, the one that I went onto on the day
Oh,
that the
okay.
ad was served to me, like, literally on the day, that first call, I remember going on, and I was like, oh wow, this is quite exposing, and I don't feel comfortable about this. And then, you're a very empathetic person, like the way that you talk, the depth that you go into, um, and your vulnerability as well. Like you're very open and very vulnerable with us. And you know, on that first call, I was like, "Oh wow, I'm not really sure about this." And that in itself was like, "Oh, hang on a minute, why am I not sure about this?" Like, this is all love. This is all positivity. Like, how can I be being cynical about this? So yeah, I think I would have felt awkward at the start trying to do that, and I wouldn't have done it, or I wouldn't have done it in an authentic way. But now, yeah, I'm all in, man. Like,
Nice,
yeah.
nice. Yeah, no, good to hear. Because that was a separate thing from LMA, but good to hear you've
Oh,
been
okay.
adopting that habit.
Oh yeah, that was a bonus, Brucey bonus.
Yeah, yeah. Cool. So what would you say you like the most about the whole LMA experience? Because, you know, there's community, there's mentorship, there's different lessons. What did you like the most, having gone through the whole thing, graduated a couple of weeks back?
So I think just the quality of the material, like consistently every week, I'm writing 20 pages of notes, handwritten notes. Oops, sorry.
So,
It rings and there's never anyone there. I don't know. It's like it
no
doesn't.
way.
Every couple of days, the phone rings. Like
That's
the
creepy.
content, you know, like the you know, I've studied a lot and I read a lot, and professionally, and I've been to university, and I would say that the course content is up there with any professional learning that I've done anywhere. You know, so the content is great. I think I really enjoyed the Sundays, the live streams. I think that's just a fantastic way of doing it. And if people are looking to sign up to this, then you should definitely do the live stream, because you get a lot more out of it. Although I do still talk to you when I'm watching it back. It's quite fun. Like the interactivity of it, I think is great. Just in the way that you deliver it. The community we talked about, that's really awesome. Just having all these heartfluences, these really beautiful, positive people there, and you know that you can go in and you can support them, and they can support you. And people have clearly built really deep friendships and relationships through this program, and I think that's a great thing. But then the main thing is really like it's helped me to unlock thinking and to extend ideas that I've had for a while really quickly, and to build momentum and progress into the projects that are really important to me, that I was procrastinating over because I was scared of them.
Mhm.
Because of that big fundamental change that you have to make if you ever want to be different. You know, if you want your life to be different, you've got to be different. Like, you're going to
Yeah.
do different things. And you know, like people's tendencies to hold on to what they know, even if it's not good for them, because that's how their brain chemistry works, right? As I now know from speaking to you. So that would, I think, would be the most valuable things. Like the apart from all the other stuff I've just said, is like it's just the confidence and the momentum that I've been able to unlock in some pretty important areas of my life.
Awesome. Well, you know, like I said on week 6, this isn't the end of our journey, just the beginning. Every day's day
Yeah,
one. Every day's day one,
every
after all, right?
day.
So,
Yeah,
yeah, Ben, it's been a pleasure, of course, taking you through the journey, but we've still got all the other day ones to, you know,
yeah,
just venture through.
absolutely.
Final question would be this. What advice would you give to somebody sitting on the fence right now? If they're just kind of like you, several weeks back, or, you know, several months back, coming across our work first time, and they're wanting to join, but a little bit hesitant because they're new,
Yeah,
what advice would you give?
just do it. Go all in and surprise yourself with what you're capable of.
Okay. So Ben, pleasure to have you today.
It's a pleasure, Tim.
Thanks so
Always.
much for your time. And for
Yeah.
those of you tuning in, just want to say also, thank you so much for your time, and hope you got the insights you're after. And as always, follow your heart and take action. And let's create the life you're truly born to live. Hope to see you on the other side. Take care.